Cooper. Cooper with a great chance. Cooper must make it 4. He does.
The Full-Time Review Show is brought to you and supported by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And if you're in Abu Dhabi from next week, I suggest you get yourself along to the world's largest energy event, the ADIPEC. Go along and see Steve Gibson and the gang. Wasn't last night's pre-match scenes sensational? Incredible work by the team at AFC Media. And what a sensational victory for the Dons last night, beating Rangers by 2-1. Nicky Devlin with Aberdeen's 8,500th competitive goal, and Shady Mo winning it with his first SPFL goal for Aberdeen. It was simply sensational. And it means this. We stay level pegging with Celtic at the top of the league. But what's more telling is that now, even before we reach November, we are 9 points clear of Rangers, who remain in third place. It took us until match day 30 last season to reach 28 points. That is the difference. The full-time scenes last night was like something I've not seen at Pittodrie for a long, long time. My thanks to my pal Mark Main for sending me this video. So many of you stayed behind to applaud the lads off the pitch. It was just sensational. And the headlines tell you everything you need to know. Once again, my thanks to Don's Collector on X for putting this newspaper headline montage together. Those pictures tell 1,000 stories. Hi everybody, how you doing? A very, very warm welcome to Ali Beg ABTV this Thursday night on Halloween. It's Halloween. And you know what? I came down here on my bike today, kind of expecting to see a few zombies. I've not seen any. In fact, I've not seen any zombies at all. Today, not one, not a single one. Not one's raised its head. Aberdeen ole, Aberdeen ole. Aberdeen ole, ole, ole. Oh my God. Eh? How good was that? I'll tell you what. Stand up, take note. We're still to be tested. I'm still wondering when this test is going to come. Sit up and take note, because this just gets better and better and better. I have to be honest. At half-time, when the boys came out for the start of the second half, I was like, what are we doing? What has happened to that team that were just magnificent in the first half? And when they scored, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. I just cannot believe this is happening. And then all of a sudden, again, out of nowhere, the grit, the determination, the will to win was there. And we got the winner. And nobody deserves it more than Shayden Morris, who again made all the difference when he came on. Got on the ball, got at players, gave us something different to do, as did all the players that came on last night. It was just simply magical. This is the review show. This is where you get your chance to have your say about what happened last night at Pittodrie. And tell me how buzzing you are. Because honestly, I've been buzzing all day. Oh, dearie me. We've got the usual bits and pieces. So let's start, first of all, with the team news. So the manager made just one change from the game at the weekend. The skipper, he came in for Ante, who dropped down to the bench. So it's the same back four. So just Shinza came in, played alongside Nielsen, who again had the most magnificent match, I thought, last night. Toppy, Jamie McGrath and Duke as a 3, and then Esther played up front. Shaden Morris, when he came on, made his 50th appearance for the Dons last night. So that was the team. Okay, just let me clear the timeline. So what I'll do is just get rid of all this so that I can just add the other bits and pieces in. Okay, so I have to ask you, were any of you concerned that we lost the momentum when Jamie missed that penalty, and wasn't it a dreadful penalty? Because I must admit, I turned to I was watching it with my little boy last night, and I turned around to him and I went, oh, this could come back and bite us on the bum. I hope Jamie's okay, because over the past few weeks, I just feel that his performances have dropped below par. And last night, again, I don't think he was quite at it. I wish Ruby had not said anything to him just before he took the penalty. Just leave penalty takers to take penalties. Don't get into their heads. But it was a really, really poor penalty. But to be fair play to the lads, he tried to keep his head up and he tried to do his very best. But I'm a little bit concerned about Jimmy at the moment. Okay, so let's get Jimmy in. So there's Jimmy. I've got the match stats for you as well. So let's get the match stats in. And I want to get that in to show you as well, because obviously there's a huge game at the weekend. What did I do with it? 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 I can't find it. I'll find it another time. Okay, so that's all in. So I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just crack on. First of all, with Jimmy, let's get his post-match thoughts. So football is not only the things on the pitch. It's also the emotions, the mental capacity, and the strength for the whole team. How they work together and try to push each other. I'm so happy with that right now. We are doing that quite well. It was difficult in parts, not going exactly how we wanted, but we stayed in the game. And then again, the players who came onto the pitch, they made some difference. We found a way to win, and I'm so happy with the character of the team and the atmosphere of Pittodrie. Match stats for you. So I was quite surprised that they had so much possession, but I wanted to show you the difference between shots and how we tried to get the momentum in the game. 20 shots in total, 6 on target. Look at those shots that were blocked, 9. And the shots inside the box, 14. So that just goes to show you how much we were actually trying to get on the front foot yesterday. The first half display was as dominant as I've ever seen against Rangers. I cannot remember such a dominant display against Rangers like that. Whoa. Since I can remember, I have to be honest, since I can remember. And apart from Tavernier's chance at the end, which had my heart in my mouth, after we scored, we never looked in danger. Again, the boys defended superbly. Bodies on the line. Nicky Devlin, again, just absolutely sensational. His goal, took it brilliantly. I just thought it was a fantastic performance. As I said, I was worried about the way that we started the second half. I really was. And I hope we don't have a repeat of that on Saturday, because we could get punished on Saturday if we fall into that trap. But let me reiterate the point. The fact that we recovered and the fact that we kept going at them after they equalised. Again, when heads could have gone down, they refused to let that happen. This is a new Aberdeen team. It's a new support. Everybody's getting behind the team. Everybody's buying into what we're doing at the moment. And for me, it does nothing but bode well for the future. It's just absolutely sensational. Oh, screaming the place down last night. Right, oh gosh. Right, let me just clear that. Right, 1 second. Come on, Ali, get yourself sorted. So, live show. There it is. And then we'll just drag that down to minimize it. We shall pause the video so we don't get lost. Drag that all the way back up to the top. There we are. Okay, right, let's get you on. Right, Bruce Struthers is on. How are we doing, Bruce? He says, West Coast media also in meltdown. They are now seriously scared of the Dandies. GG says, I've got no fear against Celtic at Hampden now. Brian P says, very good first half. Could have been 3 or 4 by half time. Absolutely spot on. David Gold Rallyvids says, Hibs away is the final game of the first round of league fixtures. If we avoid defeat there, when was the last time we went the whole first round without losing? Now, if my memory serves me correct, on Saturday, if we avoid defeat on Saturday, I think we will equal Alex Ferguson's record set way back in the mid-80s. I think we'll equal it. If someone can check that for me, that'd be absolutely brilliant. Jim Balfour says, hi Jim, how you doing, fella? He says, that was the first time I'd been able to watch the boys beat them on the telly since I don't know when. West Coast Dawn says, we've passed the test. Hearts, Celtic, United, and them. Kev McDonald says, the latest line is, the real test is how they react to defeat. Paul C. Riki says, I have to admit, I did fear the worst at 1-1. Graham Gibbs says, special night last night. That was wonderful. We will remember last night's game for years. Historical. Neil Simpson said, I made the journey to the game last night and stayed long after the end, and the buzz is just something I haven't experienced in a long time. Simply outstanding, Yumi Talene. We believe. Stand free. Brian P says, Shady Mo gave us that width again, which was much needed at the time. Rodney J. Lenny says, also, should have been 3 or 4 by half time. John Helmsley says, super times. What a time, what a team, what a manager, what fantastic fans. Kaiser says, Shady Moore has been tremendous this season. Talene has the Midas touch all right. Barry Cole making a good point. Jack McKenzie crossing the ball for both goals. And this is what we said in the preview show about how we win games, how we're winning games at the moment. It's down the flanks. It's getting balls into the box. If you look at the stats, the majority of our goals have all come from direct or indirect crosses into the box. And most of them have come from cutbacks. So, again, I thought Jack was phenomenal last night. Another outstanding display. One of our most improved players. Just sensational. Ralph Ainsworth says, didn't get home from the game until 2 o'clock thanks to roadworks heading across the Forth Road Bridge. Couldn't sleep a wink. Watched Sports Scene highlights at least 82 times. Bruce Struthers says, watched it live on Sky, then watched Sports Scene highlights after with some wine. Life doesn't get any better. David Scott says, what a night. Absolutely buzzing after that. Graham Klein says, work was bliss today. On to Saturday. Scott W says, I wasn't worried. I trust this team 100%. Do you know, Scott, I have to say, I absolutely admire your patience. Because I read your post earlier from Facebook where you said you were also not worried. I must admit, I was in absolute bits last night. Bits at the start of that second half. I was raging. I have to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. You know me, I'll always be transparent. I confess, I was swearing in front of my children rather too much, but I was going absolutely nuts. We just gave them too much room on the ball. We gave them too much space on the ball. We gave the ball away cheaply. We were still in the dressing room, and I just didn't know what had happened. Oh my God, I was going absolutely mental. And then all of a sudden, we just turn it around. Oh, ye have little faith, Ali. Alexander Wallace says, what a bizarre after-match interview from Clement. I think he's ready for the funny farm, I have to say. I also thought, dearie me, it felt of almost like desperation on his part to justify. But they were nowhere near our levels. Yeah, for a spell in the second half they played well. I'll give them that. But overall, nowhere near it. Poor. Really poor. Surprised how poor they were, to be honest. And, you know, if they don't win on Sunday, whoa, dearie me, good luck to the fella. Brian P says, the belief went a bit when McGrath missed the pen. Then Rangers had a decent 20 minutes after half-time. West Coast On said, it was a shocking pen by McGrath. We'd have destroyed them had that gone in. Russell Fraser says, Jamie looked knackered second half. He nearly banged in that free kick just before the penalty, mind. Scott Robertson said, just fantastic, Ali. What an atmosphere and what a performance. We should have buried them in the first half. But hey, another few moves from JT and we win again. We're going to win the league, he says. Arcade John says, everybody playing their part. So many different heroes each game. Can't remember a time when so many goals have come from so many different players. Graham Gibber says, McGrath through ball to Sokler was almost as good as the ball at Celtic. Jamie will be fine. Just sign your contract extension. That's what I also think. Just get it signed, fella. Take away all that doubt, because it must be playing on your mind. If you want to stay, of course, just get it signed. But why would he want to go anywhere? Because we're on the cusp of doing something really special. We're right on that periphery, I think. And everyone's waiting for us to fall apart. And I have to be honest, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. And even if we do end up losing our first game, I don't think it'll have an adverse effect on us, because I think Jimmy will be prepared for how he will get us through our first defeat. Because at the end of the day, it's all about how you react. And I'm sure he'll be absolutely prepared for that. Kilted Warrior says, I'm glad Jimmy missed the pen because it won me 110 quid at the bookies. Every cloud, Kilted Warrior, every cloud. Dave B says, I agree, Ali. Jamie looked off the pace last night and against United before that. Gav Taylor says, John Beaton is worth talking about definitely. Not always on our side, did not show any type of consistency and gave some real bad decisions and pointless yellows towards Don's players. Again, just look, if you take a look at the stats, take a look at the foul count for both sides. A little bit of skullduggery on my part, maybe, I don't know. Brian P says, pity we didn't score the pen as we were absolutely flying up until that point. Bruce Struthers says, McGrath needs to sign a new contract and settle down. His form has dipped the last few weeks during these contract talks. Steve M makes a really good point. He says, Shadon is now a victim of being such a massive impact sub. Psychological now for the opposition, but for us, so good. Paul Hannon is here. How are we doing, Paul? He says, good evening, Ali. Hope you're all well. I'm so proud of Shaden after last season and that 3-3 draw with Motherwell. I thought he would be gone, but his performances this season has just meant he's a completely transformed man. He is. I think I speak for us all, and you know that I don't speak for any Aberdeen fan, but I think I do speak for us all here, that we're all absolutely buzzing for Shaden. I think we all are, because he's been absolutely magnificent. He really has. And the smile on his face, and you could see what it meant when he scored that goal last night. Oh, I'm so happy for the boy. A gift for you today is on. How are you doing? He says, how many are going on Saturday? Hearing all different things. So the last thing that I heard was that there was only a handful of tickets left for the semi-final on Saturday. Only a handful. West Coast Dawn said, Morris is our new super sub. The last one was John Hewitt. Brian P says, Devlin is here, there and everywhere. Sugarline says, last night was the most obvious example of the Tulane ball we heard about when he was appointed. Low possession, counter win. So a lot of you are commenting about how many are watching tonight. I'm absolutely blown away that we've got nearly 300 folk watching tonight. Thank you so much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an opportunity to do this. If you're enjoying the show and you like what you're watching so far, maybe you can consider this for me. So I'd be absolutely thrilled if you'd give that little like button a wee hit. Let me know that you're enjoying the show tonight. And the last look, we were 8 subscribers away from reaching 4,000 subscribers. If we can break that tonight, I will be just as happy as when Shaden Morris scored the winner last night. We're just 8 away. It doesn't cost you anything. It's totally free to subscribe. The word is a little bit misleading, I think. And I keep saying to YouTube, you have to change that word to follow or support, not subscribe. Because subscribe to me gives the impression that you've got to pay. You don't have to pay to subscribe at all. It just means you're basically supporting us here on the channel as we continue to get bigger and better. So yeah, I hope you're really enjoying the show so far. Because I tell you what, I'm having an absolute ball. John Moore says, we should have been out of sight by half-time. Butland made a few good saves. Then he had next to nothing after their goal. Jamie's penalty miss was a shocker. David Gall Rally Vid says, Jimmy T is a tactical masterpiece. Again, subs making a difference. Neil Strachan says he's watching the show from Livingston. He's still buzzing. And I was at Pittodrie last night. And long may our Aberdeen winning run continue. Mon the Dandies, make us happy. Kaiser has said, I need to go back to the early 90s for such a dominant display. Shearer and an own goal after great work from Jess. Bruce Struthers says, Devlin and McKenzie both been absolutely superb this season. Best fullbacks in the league just now. So many of you are commenting about how Yimi continues to get his substitutions absolutely bang on. He's doing it in every single game. I don't think we've had a bench as strong as this probably since the early to mid-90s. Player for player. We're in such a good position at the moment. Gary Robertson makes a great point. He says, our manager is a breath of fresh air. He isn't afraid to change things, unlike managers that we've had before. DM says, what a game. Just get this feeling in every game that we're going to score. Scott W., thank you. So he says, the win on Saturday, we're on 29 games undefeated over 90 minutes. Fergie's run was 30. John Moore, best run in 40 years. Guys, I was reminding everybody that Alan Ruff says that Aberdeen didn't have strength and depth. Oh, they didn't half make us laugh. Wonder what he was saying today, Alan Ruff. Gav Taylor says, my ears are still ringing from the atmosphere. Still on cloud 9 with that win this week has been a huge statement. Do you know, Gav, not just this week. You're absolutely right, mate, but not just this week. This entire month has been a huge statement because everybody said leading up to October, oh, well, October will be the real test. This is when we'll see the real Aberdeen. Because up until this point, they've not played anybody of any significance. They've played lower league opposition in the Premier Sports Cup. And they've played teams which have predominantly been bottom half of the table. We've come through October undefeated. We've come 2-0 back at Celtic Park, home of the champions. And last night, we beat Rangers by 2-1. And if a little bit of more luck had been on our side, it could have been a lot more than just 2-1. So it's been a phenomenal month. Absolutely sensational. And we are now in such a good place to head into Saturday's semi-final. Physically, psychologically. And this team has absolutely nothing to fear, I don't think. Why would they? Tails are up, heads are up. It just bodes so well. Honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens on Saturday. I really can't. Oh, I wish I was going. Bloody hell. Brian P says, both fullbacks getting up the park and causing problems. The Musical Boxer says, I'm more concerned that Jack McKenzie hasn't signed a new contract than Jamie McGrath. Yeah, that's not a bad point. That's not a bad point. To be honest with you, I really hope they both sign up. I really do. Just continue your progression, lads. You're in a good place to do it. Just let your stock naturally keep rising. Xander Moore is on. He said, evening all, we've got nothing to fear on Saturday. Whatever happens, we'll leave it all on the pitch. These players, look, they'll die for themselves and the badge. Stand free. Simon McPherson said, he saw my Facebook post last night. You seemed upset. Honestly, Simon, you got no idea. I was absolutely fuming. I was fuming how we started that second half. Because I just felt we let them back in. And I felt like we were letting them off the hook. And I didn't want that to happen. In games like this, against Celtic at Celtic Park, when we got back to 2 each, I wanted us to go for their jugular. And I wanted the same to happen last night. I just didn't want us to sit back. I wanted us to go in for the kill. And that's why I was so upset about how we started the second half. Michael Robertson says, finally home in Oban, got back a few hours ago. I'm in the bad books with the missus. We go again on Saturday. Bring on the Celtic. So many of you here are just saying, bring on Celtic, can't wait, think we'll shock them. A lot of you talking about Graham Shinnie, how brilliant he was. Kaiser makes a great point. Graham Shinnie looks like a 25-year-old under Yumi Talene. Paul Donaldson said, the difference with Yimi is after missing the penalty and conceding a goal, it didn't affect us and we won in the end. Under previous managers, we would have lost that last night. Oh, I can't believe how many of you are on. It's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Again, a lot of you talking about, how fantastic the pre-match display was. Again, the guys behind the scenes, the fans project guys, are just doing a phenomenal job. Everything about the football club at the moment is just brilliant. It's fantastic. A gift for you today says, my brother sent me a selfie of him and Ruby on Union Street at 1:30 a.m. last night. Brilliant. 1 second, guys. Lennox,
Yeah?
I'll be done in 2 seconds, mate. Okay, 2 seconds. Just come up and sit down. I'll be done in 2 seconds. Sorry, my boys just come into the studio.
Can we say hello?
Come and say hello then.
YouTube.
Come and say hello.
Hello.
Just come round quickly. My son wants to come and say hello to you.
And my friend.
Right.
Hi, guys.
This is my son Lennox. Right, stay there. Don't move. Let the camera, this stupid camera. And that's Lewis. Say hello, Lewis.
Hello.
There you go.
Subscribe to Ali Beg.
Right, go on. Out you go.
Okay.
That's my boy. Right, stay there. Stay there. Right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been absolutely brilliant having nearly 300 of you on tonight. So we're going to be back again tomorrow for the preview show ahead of a League Cup semi-final against Celtic at Hampden. I can't wait to bring you the show. Honestly, we're just buzzing. Aberdeen ole, Aberdeen ole. See you tomorrow. Stand free.